if you watch media at all today, you will see that the Democrats were rushing to declare victory after last night, that this was a rebuke of President Trump, the victories in New York City with Mamdani and the governor's races in Virginia and New Jersey. And then, of course, Prop 50, the redistricting constitutional amendment out there. All victories for Democrats on the short term. But let me propose this to you. I actually don't think this is a big victory for Democrats. In fact, I think it spells more trouble for them. In the long run, what happened yesterday is going to hurt the Democrats, especially with Prop 50 out in California and Mamdani in New York City. This was Mamdani right off the bat. This guy is one combative mother scratcher. He does a total, really, change of character from being the nice, friendly Obama-style guy to the guy we all knew he was. As I said, a combative mother scratcher. Watch.
I think you can do that, and I think you have to raise taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers who make more than $1 million a year, and you do that by raising taxes by them 2%. And then you also increase the corporate tax of New York State to match that of New Jersey. So that takes us from about 7.25 to about 11.5%, which is what we see in New Jersey. These things together raise about $9 billion, which more than pays for our economic agenda and also starts to Trump-proof our state.
But are you? The man is a communist. And when I say combative, he's literally going after small businesses, big businesses, anybody that creates jobs. The one problem for him with that little plan is everyone is going to leave. Now, what is amazing to me is that Mamdani, right off the bat, quoted one of the fathers of Marxism, this Nehru guy out of India. This father of Marxism, Nehru, was responsible for the massacre of Hindus in India. He enabled jihadis to basically wipe out Hindus inside of India, and that is who Mamdani decides to quote during his speech. Listen.
I think of the words of Jawaharlal Nehru. A moment comes but rarely in history when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends and when the soul of a nation long suppressed finds utterance. Tonight we have stepped out from the old into the new.
Do you know what his new is? His new is the subtle takeover of America. A parasitic relationship with America that these Islamic jihadis, and I believe he's a jihadi sympathizer at best, they come into America and they feed off of society. And they grow in our society until ultimately we turn around and they've taken over society. We see it in Dearborn, Michigan. We see it in places like Minnesota. And now we see it in New York City. That's his rebirth in all of this. Now, it's not just taxes for New Yorkers. Crime will explode. He plans on letting prisoners out. He wants to defund the police. You will see bruisers, thieves, thugs, rapists, murderers roaming the streets everywhere you look in New York. And in the end, Wall Street will find a refuge. And that refuge will be right here in Texas on Y'all Street. You know, we have a stock market that is opening up here in Texas. You wait and see what this guy does to New York City. Here's Steve Scalise.
New York, when they realize how bad socialism is, they can just leave like they've been doing for years. They can move to states like Florida, to Texas. They can even come to Louisiana. But if they ruin America, if they're able to take hold with socialism in America, where else are people going to go?
Congressman, there's no place else on earth to go. America is the last vestige, and that's why we must fight like the Dickens for it, and we will. Now, this is why I'm telling you last night, certainly bad for New York, certainly bad for Virginia and New Jersey, but not bad for the rest of the country. This will serve as a wake-up call to everybody out there of what the left is capable. The Democrats have said we are the party of socialist communists.